do the young people believe that 16-year-olds should be allowed to vote? And on a sort of second question, if I may, what's their views in how the EU is likely to change over the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, my goodness, we could be here all night on that one. Let's concentrate on the first one, Jerry. Layton?
No, is the answer. I was too young for the referendum result in 2016. However, I agree that I shouldn't have been allowed to vote anyway, because talking to peers and friends, they didn't know anything about it. There was obviously one or two who was very interested, wanted to know, have their own points across, but most of them didn't know and would go, oh, I'd vote for this because somebody supports this one, they follow their friends. I don't agree that 16-year-olds, most of them, are informed enough.
But 18-year-olds are.
Yeah, well, they're legally classed as adults as well.
But what about in the Scottish referendum when you would have been about, 10 years old or something? No, not quite that young. But, I mean, there was a massive rally I think it was in Glasgow, like 7,000 young people went to that. And that was widely seen as one of the best events because the best questions were asked it. And they were all, I think I'm right in saying, sort of under 18s.
That's only a small proportion of the whole country. Obviously, I say there's many people who are happily involved in it, want to know, have their own views. But the majority of them, I don't agree that they understand it fully enough. Maybe give them special education at school, maybe in the mornings teach them about it possibly, and then consider it, but not at the
Alicia
moment.
From the Lib Dems.
Yeah, I think that 16-year-olds should have the vote. I think we've made that quite clear throughout the Brexit process, our manifesto, everything. I just find it a bit odd that you would say that if people are under 18, they might be led by the way that their friends vote, or they might be misled by some statistic or whatever, when that's exactly what we've seen pre and since the referendum. And also, as if that's not the way that politics has worked in this country for forever, if that's not exactly how voting trends and party loyalty work. You vote the way that the people around you vote. You vote the way that you think because of what the people around you think.
The only reason you and Labour want 16-year-olds to vote is because that's the only way you could possibly win, because people are sensible enough not to vote for them.
But we can turn that round, Layton. You've got 16 and 17-year-olds. Like myself, when I was 16, I had a single mum who was earning £11,000 gross a year working for the government. I knew what was happening in my life, and I had agency, like loads of 16 to 18-year-olds do. And I think we should be giving them some credit. And yeah, as you said, I think what would be a really good idea is that if schools were required and mandated to teach politics in a neutral way, to a greater extent than they do. But I think the reason why the Conservatives don't want people to vote is because that young people have seen the absolute travesty of what they have done in the last 9 years. And
What about what Jeremy Corbyn said about Shamima Begum, the young girl who went to Syria? He at the time said, she was only 16 years old, she didn't know what she was doing. Now, if she didn't know what she was doing, yeah, he would want her to be able to vote.
I think what we need to do, Iain, is be realistic here. Shamima,
it's a good point, though, isn't it?
No, I actually don't. No, I disagree. I think what we see with Shamima Begum is a young girl who was heavily indoctrinated.
No, sure. No, that wasn't my point. That wasn't my point.
I mean,
my point was that if he thought that she wasn't adult enough to make a proper decision, how could you have other 16-year-olds making the proper decision to vote? And I say that as somebody who actually agrees with it.
Being indoctrinated by ISIS, is very different to choosing which party to vote for in a general election.